starch, salt and greasy goodness, our humble scoop of chips is under threat. Prices are heating up at local fish and chip shops, but they're not just caught in the cost of living crosshairs. Shop owners say they're running out of frozen chips, with some forced to wait up to 5 weeks for new supplies. That's due to the impacts of Cyclone Gabrielle, the Auckland floods, and the lack of sun, thanks to one of the wettest years on record. In an email to the project, Potatoes New Zealand told us there have been challenging growing conditions in parts of New Zealand, but the South Island has had a good season. And Potatoes New Zealand encourages fish and chip shops to research into alternative wholesalers if they've been told by their regular supplier that they will run out. When domestic supply goes down, prices go up, and chippy suppliers may need to look far and wide to keep the chips coming. So could your local chippy become all fish and no chips?
Well, joining us now from Bluff Fish and Chip Shop owner Diane Williamson. Diane, just how much has the price of chips gone up for you?
So it went from $47 for 15 kilos to what I paid today to $55. Ooh. So that's a 16% increase that not only in my business but hospitality industries across our lovely country of New Zealand have having to absorb.
And so does that mean that a scoop of chips is going to cost me a lot more?
Well, for some people it may well, but down here at the local galley in Bluff, I'm making a very strong commitment to my loyal customer base that I'm going to stick to my $5 a scoop and I will absorb this yet again another price increase.
Ah, yes. But will the size of your chip scoops be reduced by shrinkflation?
Yeah, good question. No, she's a good boss down here. I'm going to keep it at the same price. But it's going to be pretty tough. But I'm making a strong commitment. It's pretty hard out there right in today's world. You know, the price of living costs, the price of fuel. We don't need to go into too much more detail in that. But it's hard enough for the everyday family to have Friday night fish and chips. So I want them to keep coming back.
So chips are expensive for now, but is there a chance they may run out completely?
Yeah, absolutely. If there's a local grower out there that's keen to get on board and help suppliers, I'd be really keen to talk to them. The other alternative is I'll be looking to go offshore to purchase them, and as I said, potentially coming from further afield, which is a bit unfortunate for our economy.
Where are you thinking?
Oh, I hate to say it, but maybe somewhere up the Netherlands.
Whoa!
Oh, I know.
They say that the Dutch are the tallest people in the world, so can we expect the chips to be longer?
I like your idea, Mark.
Well, good luck and thanks for your time tonight.
Thank you very much, guys.
I don't know if it's embarrassing to admit this for multiple reasons, but when I get fish and chips, I do the weirdest thing. I always choose the most expensive piece of fish. And I realise this is quite controversial. We kind of mentioned this.
Back in the day, you had no choice. It was just fish and chips, right? But now, yeah, you are faced with a bit of a dilemma when they ask you which fish. And even me as a foodie, I'm not sure which way to go. I usually go somewhere in the mid-range.
Is this psychotic that I do this, though? Is there something wrong with me?
Well, yes.
People from the audience, you guys don't get to yell out. This isn't like audience interaction time. They're going, yes.
But you are right.
It's all battered and fried, and it's all going to end up tasting the same. I mean, the whole point of fish and chips is, that's what you did with the shark that you might have caught. Went to the fish and chip shop. Yeah. What is more important is actually who does good fish, who does good chips, because you've got to have both. We've actually tended to actually find the fish and chip shops that might do good fish and different ones that do good chips. We'll often go to two different stores.
That's worse. That's worse than me. Why aren't the audience piping up on that?
And do you get your butler to drive and shops? That's crazy. I'm with Mark on the just order the fish and the chips. It's about the batter and all of that sort of thing. The only place I'll make an exception is if they're serving blue cod in the South Island. Then I'll pay a few extra bucks.
I see. She got applause. Any theories on how you find a good fish and chip shop versus one that lets you down?
Yeah, I've got a passionate view on this, and that is the further away from the beautiful beach, the better. If you're there, no disrespect to my home beach back in Nelson, but if you're there at Kaiteri Fish and Chips, not so good. But the more inland you go, the better. You go to Hanna Springs, I bet beautiful fish and chips. Palmerston North, probably amazing fish and chips.
So see, once again, the problem is with you. Because it's your perception. You just think because it is beside the sea, they're going to be really good. So your perception, you know, that doesn't live up to your perception. You go inland and you think that they're going to be awful, but they're okay, probably the same as the other one, but your perception says that they're better.
Well, fellas, I fear we've discussed every possible angle of this fish and chip. Your thoughts are well.
This is New Zealand. This is the big issue. Make an election issue.